So the WNBA and the WNBPA have reached a resolution for a 30-day extension in their CBA deal. That is objectively a good thing. That is objectively a good thing for the league and all the players. Why is it a good thing? Because if this extension did not happen, it means on Saturday, every player that's rehabbing with their team, every player that's working with their team is no longer allowed to do so. Either the players would go on strike or the owners would call a lockout. One of those things would have to happen, and that doesn't help anybody. That does not help anybody. The best case scenario is that they figure something out. The best way to go about this is by just constantly extending. Like, constantly extending is much better than doing nothing. Because, like, if you're constantly extending, then you've got, or then like a lockout, then at least players still have the facilities. Players that want to train with their teams can train with their teams. Players that are rehabbing and injured can rehab with their teams. Like, if you're a player making $60K a year and you're rehabbing with your team, and this ends up going, the CBA gets torn up and you go into a lockout. Like, people don't realize that what happens in that scenario. What happens is that the players then have to fund their own rehab. They can't use the team. They have to fund their own rehab. Like, it would have been an absolute disaster had the CBA negotiations not happened. Buying time for some big changes, 30-day, close to a deal. I'm guessing, like, it could be 2 30-day extensions. It's probably going to be 30 days at a time. They'll never come to an agreement. The fact that they came to an agreement that there was going to be an extension. Okay, so they're about to do both drafts in November, although it's not going to be much of anything because 80% of the league is free agents. Yeah, people don't realize that, like, Lexi and Kalani Brown go to a new team. Like, there are so few things. It's like, Portland are probably going to come out with whichever team, like, they're going to come out with 6 players each. Like, the Wings might lose a player. The Mystics might lose a player. Yeah, and, like, Arike might go somewhere. Like, I think both teams are going to get one big name. I think both of the teams are going to get the one big name they can core. And after that, I don't see them taking. They might get a couple of young players or a couple of stash players. Like, they might go and take Raquel Carrera from New York. They might go and take Maureen Photo from New York. Both the teams might take Maureen Photo, Raquel Carrera. Hanju might go somewhere. Maria Conde might get taken from the Valks to somewhere else. The Valks might lose some players, but I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know. But they're just playing at this point. At least they agreed on something. Look, if they agreed on this, I do think long term we can expect something. We can expect some form of CBA. I'm not going to say resolution, but is resolution the right word to use? Honestly, resolution might be the right word to use. Like, if they're willing to at least negotiate on this, they might be a lot more willing to negotiate on other things. Like, the fact is, the first on the agreement news, Ben Pickman. Obviously, shout out to him. But this being there means we're a lot more likely. It means, look, my theory of the WNBA league, the league not wanting the players to not like wanting the players to go and like play. Like, that was my theory, was that the players just didn't want to play, or the union didn't want the players to play and didn't want the league to go ahead. That theory is pretty much gone because they've worked towards an extension. Look, I don't think the players are going to get what they want, but I think they're going to get a bigger salary. I think it's going to be, I stand by this. I think the salary right now, I think it's like 4x. I think it's like 4x right now is what they were offered. I think they could potentially get 8x. I think the salaries could max salary could go to 1.5 mil. I think it could go something like that. I think it's going to go something crazy. I think it's going to go something crazy high, so that even though obviously the players are may not get the revenue split they want, I think their salaries are going to be so high that everyone's just going to be like, you just offered a 10x increase to your salaries. And I also think it could be a very short term CBA. I think that the opt out, instead of being after 5 years, I think the opt out could be after 3. I think there could be an opt out after 3 years for the players, or for either party. I think either party might be able to opt out after 3, or maybe they get a certain rev split, and after 5 years, maybe there's like a certain amount. The books have to be public, and if they hit a certain amount of revenue, they can get the rev split in 3 years, in a certain amount of years' time. Like, I don't know. There's going to be some way to work it out so that the owners don't get screwed, but the players get way more money. There has to be a way. There has to be a way. There really does. But at least it's looking like it is looking like we're going to be seeing a lot of like a lot more, like we're seeing a lot more news. I think we're seeing it get to the stage where we're actually going to see a WNBA season next year. I didn't think we were going to. I really didn't. Like, if you had asked me a couple of weeks ago, would we have seen, a couple of days ago, would we have seen a season, I would have said no. I'm going down to 50-50. I'm going down to 50-50. Because I was 70-30 that it was going to happen. And right now I'm back down to 50-50. I don't know. I think there is a very good chance, but there's also a good chance season doesn't happen. We'll see in the next week whether I go back to 70-34 or 70-30 against like I was prior to today. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think that this is something that really makes that much of a difference? Do you guys think that this is relevant? Do you guys think that the players are actually trying to get the season to happen? Because look, if they really didn't want the season to happen, they would not have accepted an extension. They would have gone into a lockout. And if you go into a lockout, or you go on, they wouldn't have even let it go to a lockout. They would have just went on strike. Like, the players would have went on strike. Like, I thought that could have been. I thought we would have heard today the players were going on strike today or tomorrow. Like, I thought that was an actual like thing that was probably going to like I think that's was something that we might have seen. But look, I think the best case scenario happened. There's an extension. The players that are rehabbing, the players that are working out with their franchises, the players that have brand deals tied to their franchises, the player can now continue to do that. And hopefully we're working towards a situation where the players get paid a way more money than they are right now. And I do think saying that like the 800k was like basically, I'm 100% paraphrasing, but basically saying the 800 and offered 4x increase their money. So even 4x, like 5x increase their money was a slap in the face, or 4.5x increase their money was a slap in the face. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, that's a crazy statement to make, but I still think that the league hopefully should happen. And look, I think social media and players being chronically online is probably the biggest detriment to this whole thing, for being honest. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys.